Blog Talk Radio.
Live from Washington, D.C., it's Quintessential Listening, Poetry Online Radio. QLPOR, as it's widely known, features a bevy of poets, spoken word artists, and live poetry readings with best-selling authors. Your host is Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram.
Hello and welcome to the program. It's National Poetry Month, and our special guest is none other than Valeri Beers. Valeri is a longtime friend of our program. Hello, and our resident queen of the haiku. Hello, Valeri.
Thank you very
How are you, my friend?
I'm good.
How are you, my
good.
friend?
I hope you're good too.
Yes, I'm quite well. Thank you for asking. You know, again, this is National Poetry Month, my friend. Why is it important to celebrate this month?
I think it's important because let's say there's a birth or somebody dies, or you just look up a poem and you can write it down and give it to that person, and I think it's a window into how you're feeling. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but
it does
I
make
do
sense,
poetry.
Yes.
I think poetry is important. I do poetry, little short pieces for people's birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, and I think it's important that people keep poetry in mind. Maybe not the front of their mind, but remember that it's important.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you think? It's important because of what? Why do we do what we do? Why do we do what we do, my friend?
I'm gonna talk about myself. The reason I write poetry, and the reason other people could write poetry, but I write poetry to remember things. I have to remember the situation and how it was for real, not putting my own spin on it. And I remember that situation that way. Maybe it was a sad thing. I'm not going to put a happy face on it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it because this is what happened and this is how I want to remember it.
Very nice. I like that.
Not all poetry is happy.
Yes, that's so true. Well, let's begin our journey together. Please share a poem. All right.
I know you like this one, and this is very relevant for what's been happening. It's spring in Maine, and this is called Flood. Black wetness slowly creeps places it should not be. The waves, gently lapping, are deceiving as they do damage. The end.
I love your work.
That's about my flooding basement.
Yes,
Thank
I know.
You.
I remember.
That's about my flooding basement.
Please share it again. It takes me one more time to.
Absolutely. It's called
Thank
Flood.
you, my friend. All right.
It's about springtime in Maine. Okay. Black wetness slowly creeps places it should not be. The waves, gently lapping, are deceiving as they do damage. The end.
Wow. I know about haikus. I know that the most typical and traditional version of a haiku consists of 3 lines with 17 syllables in total. The first line is 5 syllables. The second line is 7 syllables. And the third line is 5 syllables. What is it? And I've asked you this countless times about a haiku that intrigues you.
A haiku, it seems like a poetry prompt to me, but you've only got so many syllables. You can only talk about what you want to talk about. You've only got, you only have so much. You only have so many syllables, really. So I know people. I think it was Stephen King that wrote an 87-page poem. Hello, that's really long.
Yes.
So I'm going to give you a snapshot of what's happening, and because that's what I know, and I'm going to share it with you. Mm-hmm. I don't know anything that happens for 87 pages, but I know something that happens for 4 or 5 lines.
Right, I understand.
So I think it's like a poetry prompt.
Okay. So it's quick and short and to the point.
And that might be a good introduction to poetry for people. A person's not going to want to read an 87-page poem, but they might want to read a haiku.
Well, I enjoy your haikus. I love them, actually.
Thank you very much.
Please share another.
Okay. This is called, let me see, I've got my notebook here. This is called Liquid Dreams, and this is inspired by a podcast I listened to called The Box of Oddities. They were talking about the weather on Neptune and Uranus. But I'm only doing a poem about Neptune. It's called Liquid Dreams. The queen of Neptune would have liquid diamonds as a nightlight glowing in a sconce. Queen of Neptune would wear solid diamonds cooled in the ice house on her wrists and fingers. She'll be under pressure. She's too hot to handle. And
the Queen of Neptune. One more time, my friend. Let me soak it in one more time.
Okay. This is called Liquid Dreams. The Queen of Neptune would have liquid diamonds as a nightlight glowing in a sconce. The Queen of Neptune would wear solid diamonds cooled in the ice house on her wrists and fingers. They'll be under pressure, too hot to handle. And
I like that. Let me ask you a question, my friend.
Yeah, okay.
Has a poem ever frightened or humbled you? When did it happen? And what did you do afterwards?
Yes, a poem did. It didn't. I wouldn't say it frightened me, but it made me very sad. I'm thinking of one of Erica Jong's poems that she has written. Her newest book is called "The World Begin with Yes," and she has a poem called "Child on the Beach," which I'm going to read later on in this poetry thing. Podcast, and it just made me sad. There was probably some poetry written about the Ukraine would frighten me, but a lot of poetry makes me sad.
Tell me about your sadness. What is it that makes you sad?
The imagery. Child on the Beach has imagery of, the child is not alive, and she's writing about, what the child looks like, what might have happened, and things like that. So that makes me sad. And if I don't have any poems about Ukraine at this moment, but thinking about what's going on and what the hardships the Ukraine people are facing, and soldiers are the imagery makes me sad.
Oh wow!
If it's really good, it will evoke a response in you. And the response could be different with different readings. Really, could make you angry, could make you sad.
Well, I was going to share with you that you're making me smile because I'm loving your responses to what I'm asking. the depth that you're sharing
Thank you.
is real. I like it. My friend. I like it. Share
thank
another
you very
poem
much.
with us.
I can't be anything else. That and poetry is I guess I should have mentioned this. Poetry is real. You know, it's not sugar-coated fiction. It's not, you know, it's going to tell you what's going on. And it's real, too. So if you want the real deal, the real what's going on, read some poetry.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is so true. That is so true. Share another piece with us.
Okay. Well, in my book, it's called Scratching Surface, and I'm going to read another poem about spring in Maine. This is called Frozen Mud. Oh, by the way, it's mud season here.
Oh, mud season?
Okay, what's that?
Did you say it's mud season in Maine?
It's mud, yes, it is mud season here.
Oh, I've never heard of that before.
Oh,
mud
yes,
season.
It's mud season. This is called Frozen Mud. This would be my driveway. This would be everybody's dirt driveway.
All right.
Okay, frozen mud. Now it's a haiku, so it's very short. Frozen mud. The mud is frozen. All the leaves are shivering. It is spring in Maine. The end.
I like that. I like that.
Like I said, it's just a snapshot of what's happening. That is my driveway. When I say the leaves are shivering, it's just the wind is blowing them, but they look like they're shivering.
I like that. You know, some poets claim that a poem is like a living creature. Once it's out there, there's not much you can do to correct or improve it, while others edit meticulously, not leaving much from the original draft form. What is your take on it? Do you edit a lot?
My take on it is my poems can always be edited or changed. You know, some poems you write them at a certain point in your life and anymore. So you change a line or you change a word or you might change the whole thing. And it's like, aha, this is more what my life is like right now. So I think they can always be changed.
I like that. Let's take a brief break, my friend, and we'll be right back.
Okay. My name is Michael Anthony Ingram. I'm here with one of my favorite poets, Valeri Beers. Valerie, my friend, please share another poem. Yes. Okay. Well, I am going to read now the poem that made me sad by Erica Jong. This is called Child on the Beach. Okay. This one is, I'll still say the end, but this is called Child on the Beach, and it comes from her book of poetry that she just put out. It's called The World Began with Yes, Child on the Beach. The Mediterranean is black with bodies, as in the time of the Trojan War, when Homer sang of bloody battles and heroes lay unburied. beneath the topless towers of Troy. But this little boy of 3 sleeps unburied on a beach. Where is he from? The chemical fog of Syria? The garbage dumps of beautiful Beirut? The chaos of civilization come undone? He rests, his parents lost, drowned, his brother thrown up on another beach. What shall I do with this dead toddler who breaks me open to grief? I will adopt him, my nameless grandson. Welcome him into my shattered breast. His death so sweet, even cherubs weep. And Maria float him in their seaweed boats. Little one, now you are mine. Sleep in my arms while I sing you this lullaby. Maybe you'll awaken in a kinder world where children don't die at the edge of the sea. Meanwhile, dreams of peace for this broken world. The end.
Wow. That's an incredible
I know.
poem.
The imagery just makes me so sad.
Okay. And with this sadness, how do you transfer it to your work?
Let me see. Let's see. If I wrote a poem about reading this poem, I would transform my sadness into words that maybe weren't as sad. I might do a part 2 of this. After she's sung the lullaby, I might write a poem about a kinder world, awakening in a kinder world. Mm-hmm. And I might talk about the broken world and, how can we make it not broken, or that's what I would do.
Yes. I know.
This will be a continuation.
A continuation. I know that you're a longtime fan of Erica Jong. And honestly,
yes,
I did not know that she wrote poetry. What is it about her work fascinates you?
She is, and I like this very much. Her poetry is not at all obscure. She has said this. It's not obscure. It's very easy to understand. I certainly understand that. I've got some other books of poetry by her, and it's not obscure. It's very easy to understand, and it's very personal, very detailed. That's what I like about it. I mean, some poets are obscure, and you have no idea what they're talking about. They might use big words that you don't understand, but
yes.
She doesn't.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think accessibility is extremely important. You need to be able to understand it, in my mind.
Exactly. Yes. That's why I write the way I write. I want people to understand what I'm telling them, what I'm showing them. I never want a person to say, I didn't understand what your poem meant.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
I like
Sorry.
that. No. I just want to hear more of your work. Share another poem.
All right. Let's see. Let's look at. I've got all sorts of bookmarks in my book. Let's see. Okay. Here's another one. Here's one that I wrote for Erica Jong. She actually, I followed her on Twitter, and she actually replied to what I sent. So I put it in the poem. Right. This is called New Year for Erica Jong, and it's about calendars. Okay. No revising this one. No revisiting that one. Try to find new words for old problems. Try to save the good ones. I will be the poetry person among the book people. The end.
Wow.
Have you ever read or seen the movie Fahrenheit 451?
Yes, I have. It's been a long time ago, but I do remember. I remember the book.
Part of the, I'm going to say part of the movie, the end of the movie, each person memorized a book so they could, tell it to other people and remember it, because as you know, books were outlawed, and that's not that far away. No, banned books and
yes.
Oh, scary. But I'm going to be the poetry person among the book people. So if you need a poem, you come to me.
I see that you're claiming that title. Come to you.
Yes.
Let's talk a minute about your book, Details. It was published in 2021 or 2020 or 2019. I can't remember now.
Details? That was published in 2017.
Oh, it was 17. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Are you working on a new collection?
Yes. It's because I have the tentative title of Words, and I want to have poems and haikus in it, along with some short stories, like 2 or 3 short stories. I'll try that, but that will make 3. If I do that and I get it published, that'll be 3 books for me. But tentative title, Words.
Well, what was the first book? I can't remember now.
Well, no, all right. Details was the first book in 2017. Okay. The second book is called Scratching the Surface. I
remember now. Yes, Scratching the Surface. I remember.
2019, I think. Okay. I don't remember. I've got it in my hand, but I don't know when this came out. That's
right.
I don't know. But,
well, let me ask this question. Okay. What other poets that you're friends with, and how do they help you become a better writer? Who are you friends with that helps you become a better writer?
Let's see. Erica Jung and I, we know each other. We follow each other on Twitter.
Okay.
She makes me a better writer because she tells me just write. Because I myself think, oh, it's got to be perfect. I got to do this. I got to do that. I put a lot of shoulds on myself. And she says, no, just write, which means write a grocery list, write something short. So that's really the only poet that I'm friends with. I wouldn't even actually call her a friend. She knows who I am. She knows I'm Valeri Beers from Maine. But I think that's the greatest advice any poet, any writer could give me. And I'm giving it to whoever's listening. Just write.
That's nice. Wow. Tell me about Poetry Pasta. Is it still in existence?
It is still in existence. It's really slowed down a lot. Poetry Pasta was started online by me and Franco Esposito, and we published. I like the phrase "show off." I showed off, and Frank did too. We showed off up and coming poets. They'd never been published, they'd never been online, or they'd never had their stuff online. It's like, yeah, we can do that. And there's all these crazy things with other poetry pages. Like we don't take things that have been previously published, things that have already been put up someplace. No, we don't care about that. I know that poets get excited when their work is shown off. That's the mission of Poetry Pasta. And pasta,
Tell me
because
about
it's
Yes, continue.
pasta. Oh, sorry. Pasta is because it's small. You can chew it up. It's easily digested. It's not, 87 pages. It's small and it's digestible. That's why we call it poetry pasta.
Incredible. Please share another poem.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to, let's see. Yep, there we go. Okay. Edna, have you heard of Edna St. Vincent Millay?
I love her. I love her name, and I also love her work.
That is a poet from Maine.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yep, she's from Maine. I away a long time ago, but I love her poetry. And this is one of my favorites by her. This is called The Concert. No, I will go alone. I will come back when it's over. Yes, of course I love you. No, it will not be long. Why may you not come with me? You are too much my lover. You would put yourself between me and song. If I go alone, quiet and suavely clothed, my body will die in its chair, and over my head a mind that is twice my own will mark with icy mirth the wide advance and retreat of armies without a country, storming a nameless gate, hurling terrible javelins down from the shutting walls of a singing town, where no women wait, armies clean of love and hate, marching lines of pitiless sound, climbing hills to the sun and hurling golden spears to the ground. Up the lines, a silver runner, bearing a banner, whereon is scored the milk and steel of a bloodless wound, healed at length by the sword. You and I have nothing to do with music. We may not make of music a filigree frame, within which you and I, tenderly glad we came, sit smiling hand in hand. Come now, be content. I will come back to you. I swear I will, and you will know me. I shall only be a little taller than when I went. The end.
Oh, what do you think is the purpose of that particular poem? What is it trying to do?
Well, it's that I haven't dissected this, but it sounds like she's talking to somebody. No, you can't go with me to the concert. Yeah, I'll come back. Mm-hmm. I'll go. I don't know what it means. All the talking of, the war and things that happen. But It sounds like she's talking to somebody about, I'll come back and I'm only going to be a little taller. It sounds like she's talking to somebody.
And that's what I felt too. That she was talking to someone that she would be growing in the same breath because she'll be a little taller, but she would be back. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. Let me ask you. I'm the question man. So I do have a question for you.
I hope I have an answer.
You've done fantastically. There is an image of poets being overcome with inspiration and having to write everything out of nowhere and at once. Does this ever happen to you, being overcome by inspiration?
Maybe a little overcome, but that's when you really have to, like, let's say I'm writing about the weather today, spring in Maine. Mm-hmm. I can be overwhelmed because there's lots going on. The sky's blue, there's melting snow, but it's like, what do I really want to talk about? Don't get overwhelmed and want to do 87 pages. What do I really want to talk about? What do I really want to show you? Oh, I really want to show you the melting snow, or I really want to tell you about the flooding basement. So, yes, you can get overwhelmed. As a writer, just think about what you really want to be important to people, what you want them to take away.
All right. I understand. Share another piece of your work.
Okay. Let's see. Well, this isn't mine. This is not my work. This is Dorothy Parker. And it's very apropos because it's called A Well-Worn Story, and you'll see why in a minute.
Well, let me share.
Okay,
let me share this. Hold on one second. I know that Dorothy Parker is associated with the Algonquin table. Am I correct?
Yep. I don't know how to say Algonquin round table.
Yes. Round table.
Yes,
round table. All right.
And that just refers to the table they have lunch at.
Okay. Very nice. Continue, please, with the poem.
Okay. This is by Dorothy Parker, called A Well-Worn Story. In April, my one love came along as I ran the slope of my high hill to follow a thread of song. His eyes were hard as porphyry, with looking on cruel lands. His voice was flipping over me like terrible silver hands. Together we trod the secret lane, and I walked the muttering town. I wore my heart like a wet red stain on the breast of a velvet gown. In April, my love went whistling by, and I stumbled here to my high hill all along the way of a lie. Now what should I do in this place but sit and count the chimes and splash cold water on my face and spoil a page with rhymes? The end.
Wow. What
She was
compels
very
you to?
sarcastic.
Yes. What compels you to include that in your selection today?
I'll tell you what. We are Women's History Month was in March, and
yes,
it's still in my mind. So I thought, okay, it's National Poetry Month, but I'm going to share women poets.
Which is so important. So important.
Yes.
So important, my friend.
Yes, it is.
So important. Wow. Let's take a brief break, and we'll be right back. We are back. Again, I am Michael Anthony Ingram. This is Quintessential Listening Poetry Online Radio. I am here with my friend, the haiku queen, Valeri Beers herself. Valeri, please share another poem.
Okay. Now, I know you've heard of Emily Dickinson. I know you have.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. What I found is one of my favorite poems by Emily Dickinson is it's called "I'm Nobody." I think that's the title, but I'll read it. It's very short. I'm nobody. Who are you? Are you nobody too? Then there's a pair of us. Don't tell. They'd banish us, you know. How dreary to be somebody. How public like a frog. To tell your name the livelong day to an admiring bog. The end.
Wow. I'm nobody. Are you nobody too? Oh. Wow.
I love this.
So profound.
I love it.
Yes. Yes, I do too. I do too. I do too. Let me ask you a question. You've been writing for some time, I believe.
All my life.
All your life. If you could tell your younger writing self anything, what would it be?
My younger writing self, again, I would tell her, just keep writing, because I do have some on my old writing from way back when, and it's terrible, it's awful, but just keep writing. You know, when you go back and look at stuff you wrote, years ago, it's sort of cringe, and it's like, did I write that? Yes, you did. You liked it back then.
Wow. How many hours a day do you write?
I wouldn't say it's hours a day. I know there are some poets or some writers that write, or they have a certain word count, or, they want to do a certain number of pages every day. Unfortunately, I write when inspiration strikes me. I can't just sit, you have to give me a prompt. If you were to say, okay, you're going to, some of these writing workshops are, okay, sit down and write a poem about blah, blah, blah. Okay, I can write a poem about blah, blah, blah. But I don't really sit down and write 2 hours or have a certain word count, or I wish I did. It's what I should do, but I don't. I thought of something else I would tell my younger self. Don't should on yourself.
One more time. Say that one more time for me.
Don't should on yourself. Should.
Don't should on yourself.
I should do this. I should write like this.
I didn't know what you were saying.
Don't should on yourself. Don't do it.
Okay. Okay. What does that mean to you?
Don't should on yourself. Don't.
Yes. Don't
tell yourself you should do this, or you should do that, or you should be like this, or or you should, don't do it. Don't should on yourself.
Right,
if you
I
can
see
do
that.
It, great. If you can't, maybe you can do it tomorrow.
I don't think I've ever asked you whether you come from a literary background or not. And I guess my question is, what did you learn growing up about writing? Nothing from my family. In high school, I was in a creative writing class that exposed me to this kind of poetry, this kind of writing, this kind of poetry, this kind of writing. And I heard a lot of different styles. I was exposed to different styles, and the people that were in the class had different styles, and that's where I got all of my education. That's where I learned it. And my teacher, the teacher was like, just write. It doesn't matter what you're writing about. It doesn't matter what you're writing about. That's such a powerful statement, that it doesn't matter. Just do it. Just write.
That's
I know
right.
that I have difficulty. Well, I know that I have difficulty writing. I don't know whether it's writer's block, but I just I don't know what it is, my friend. I just find it difficult to put the pen to paper. I really, really do. Any suggestions?
Well, as I said, 2 words, just right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
A lot of people will do like, do you know what stream of consciousness is?
Yes. Yes.
Some people, a writing teacher of mine was like, why don't you write just stream of consciousness and, get your juices flowing that way, or write about, what's happening outside your window. Just write about something, and it hopefully it gets you going. Oh, now I feel like writing about this, or I feel more prepared to write about this, or I feel more prepared to write my book, or something like that.
Wow, I like that. And like you said, just write. And I mean, we've talked about it almost ad nauseum. Just write. And I think that's what I plan to do, is just write, just to get it out of my system, to vent. I know this. I know it works. And I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to do, I should do it. I'm going to do it.
Don't you short on yourself. No. I even wrote that in a poetry journal of mine. I should, I wrote just right, and I underlined it, and it's like, I look at it and it's like, I'm so sad. It's like, I haven't done that. I haven't done that at all, but I should. Oh, I just showed it on myself. Don't do that. I've got it right, though. You're right.
I know that you're a great fan of the poet Amy Lowell. Tell me why.
Yes. I like Amy Lowell because she has written, I was just looking her up this morning, and, she's written long poems, and she's haikus. Let me see what I wrote. So I wrote this down. So I want to get this correct. Amy Lowell wrote regular poems and also haiku poetry, and reworked Chinese poems with a translator. That I didn't know.
Right. I didn't know that either. Well, please share one of her works. Please share one of her works. All
right, this is a short one, but it's called A Decade, and it's free verse form, and it's called A Decade. Amy Lowell, 1874 to 1925. Okay, there we go.
All right, great.
All right, this is called A Decade. When you came, you were like red wine and honey, and the taste of you burnt my mouth with its sweetness. Now you are like morning bread, smooth and pleasant. I hardly taste you at all, for I know your savor, but I am completely nourished. End.
Wow. I am completely nourished.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
I mean, I'm looking at
nourished?
the book, and she's got a longer poem right underneath it, and she's got one called Patterns, and that's 1, 2, 3. It's like 3 pages long. It's like,
wow. Wow. She lived a long time ago, and things have changed so much in terms of technology. And we're right now in this thing with social media. Do you think that the internet and social media contribute to the well-being of poetry?
Yes, I do. I do think this. I can't take credit for this because Erica John said this, but if you see a poem, you see a poet on the internet, and you can watch her work, endlessly. You can rewind, and you can watch it again and again, and you might get the meaning on the first seeing of it. You might the meaning of it on the 10th seeing of it. But also, one thing I do for Poem in Your Pocket Day is I will send people poems on their cell phones. So that's technology, helping. Yes, technology is a help for poems and things like that. Yes, I believe that because I think that counts. Not a whole lot of people want to write a poem out and put it in their pocket, but if I send you one or you look one up and it's on your phone and it's in your pocket, hello, poem in your pocket. Yes. So, yes, I do think technology and social media, yes.
I just wanted to share, I think you're top-notch.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I really do. Please share another poem.
Okay. Well, I'll read a poem from my first book, Details, that was published so long ago. Again, it's about spring in Maine. It's about mud season, which we are in right now. The mud, this is called mud. Not frozen mud, just mud. We have a lot of mud around here. Okay, this is called Mud. It's from my book, Details, and I wrote this. The mud sucks you in, traps you. The icicles are unseen lengths and still drifting and growing. Even through 2 nor'easters, the gull is still on the glider. Is it summer? I want to hang out in the greenhouse. And
you've written 3 books.
When we used to have really long icicles.
All right. They are so beautiful when they're long like that. Now, that brings up an image.
Oh, yes.
Well, as I was going to say, you've written 3 books. What do you think you've learned about yourself from writing these books?
What I've learned about myself is, well, I like short poems. I like to I like to show you my world, little bits of what's going on in my world. I mean, I'll probably go out and write about the weather, but I've learned that I want to share things, and I want to remember things, and I'm going to write them down.
Share another piece, please.
All right, another piece. Let's see. Let's do something from Scratching the Surface. Okay. I really like this one. Well, I really like them all. But this is inspired by a song because I listen to music to be inspired to write. And this is inspired by Sarah McLachlan of the song Ice. And when I listen to music, I'll listen to the lyrics and see if I can make a haiku out of them. I've done that with several songs. Okay, Inspired by Ice by Sarah McLachlan, written by me. Offer what you can. I'll take all I can get. Only a fool here. The end.
Please share that again. I want to soak it in. Please share it again.
All right. This is inspired by the song Ice by Sarah McLachlan. Offer what you can. I'll take all I can get. Only a fool here. The end.
That really makes you think about life. Offer what you can.
Absolutely.
I'll take what I can get. Yes. Wow. What surprises you most about being a poet?
The thing that surprises me the most is that people like my words, that people like what I wrote. That really surprises me, because I'm expecting people to be like, oh, I don't like poetry, or I don't know what you mean, or it's not really my thing. But all I've heard is, wow, that's really interesting. I like that. You know, so that surprised me.
I like that. You know, we're almost at the end of our journey together. Please give us one last poem.
Okay, one last poem. Let's do one of mine. Okay, this is a good one for National Poetry Month. This one is perfect for me. Oh, I wrote it, but it's called Words. And it's a haiku. Words. I would steal the words off the page to make them true. What words would those be? The end.
I will steal them off the page. Wow.
I would steal them off the page.
That's
but
deep.
What words would those be?
Yes. My friend Valerie, what's next for you creatively? Tell me. I want to know.
The thing that's next for me creatively is working on my next book, hopefully. Got my fingers crossed. I'm not real good at writing short stories. I think I like to tell too much backstory, but working on another book, writing some more, just right. I need to do that. I won't shit on myself. Creatively, reading more poetry, not just this month, but all the time.
Yes.
And that will help. If you read a lot, that will help inspire you, hopefully. It does me.
You know, here's one last fun question that I've been asking. Yes. Here's one last fun question that I've been asking lately. As a writer, a poet, what would you choose as your spirit animal, or mascot, or avatar? What would you choose as your animal, mascot or avatar?
Wow, I really got to think about that one.
Well, maybe we can talk about it offline.
I really don't know how to answer that.
That's okay. That's okay. I think you're wonderful.
Thank you. I'm trying to think of what kind of animals can write, have thumbs. It's like, none, I don't know. My cat just walks on my paper, so not a cat. I don't know. I've never thought of that.
Well, next time you're on the show, you can answer that question. All right?
I will.
Well, how can people stay in touch with
you?
How can people stay in touch with you?
They can, let's see, my email is theval2.
Hello? Well, it seems like Valerie's call has dropped. Let's see if we give her an opportunity to come back. And in the meantime, let's listen to some music. Our friend Valerie is back, fantastically. Valerie, are you there?
I am. I'm sorry, my phone hung up on me.
That's okay. Just like life, there are ups and downs, ins and outs.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your signing on again. Mm-hmm.
You asked, how can people get a hold of me? I have an email, theval2000 @hotmail.com, or I have my own poetry webpage, which is severely neglected. I think it's Words of the Val 2000.wordpress.com.
Okay. All right. Well, if they'd like to reach you, they can always contact me. And I hope they do.
I'm also on Twitter.
Okay. All right. Very nice. And what's your name on Twitter?
The Val 2000.
The Val 2000. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for being my guest, for helping me bring in National Poetry Month. I think you're fantastic. Your work is fantastic. It's real. It's alive, and I like that.
I want people to know that poetry is alive. It's not a dead art. It's alive, and it will tell you what you want to know. It'll tell you what you want to say to somebody. Mm-hmm. It's more important than you think.
Yes, it is. And that's a great way to end. It's more important than you think. Well,
it is.
To our listening audience today, I want to thank you for tuning in. This is National Poetry Month, so there'll be a number of different programs throughout the month that hopefully provide insight, support, encouragement, and just the opportunity to just be with your work. So as I share every week, let poetry ring somewhere throughout the land. I want to thank all of you and take care. Take care, Valerie.
Thank you. You take care, Michael.
Yes, I will. I will.
Quintessential Listening, Poetry Online Radio, is available on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. You can also check out the website at QLPOR.com.